We've made the move.
Yeah.
The first episode.
Right. Okay, so we've done it. We've decided to
make the jump.
We have made the jump.
We're going into the longer format content.
It's a bit scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you've already jumped the gun and got straight into the cigar of the day.
Well, I couldn't wait, could I?
I mean, the aroma coming off it is unreal so far.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to getting into it. If you would care to explain what cigar it is that we are actually enjoying on our first episode.
Sure thing. So this is the Rocky Patel Seed to Smoke. These are relatively new, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
To the UK market.
Yeah, last month or so.
Yeah. Well, this is the Toro, so this is going to be 6x52. And the wrapper is a Honduran Maduro. The binder is Honduran and the filler is Honduran and Nicaraguan. So I'm guessing it's going to have quite a lot of like earthiness and spice to it.
I mean, you kind of get that off the nose anyway, don't you?
Yeah.
It's a very minerally feeling wrapper, quite...
it tastes quite earthy.
Really textured. But I kind of like that. It gives it more characteristic, in my opinion.
There's good smoke output on that as well, which is really interesting.
Well, yeah, these come in two different variations. You have the Shade Connecticut and you have the Classic Toro, which is the one that we're smoking today. The only difference is the wrapper. It's a Connecticut Shade, basically, rather than the Honduran Maduro that we have today. Well, we'll get this lit up.
It's an interesting band, isn't it? I think the gold and the white is quite nice. It's it reminds me of something, but I can't think of what.
I mean, earlier on, you kind of looked at the band and went, "Is that a chicken?" on the bottom of it. I don't think it is a chicken, but
it's not. No, they're leaves. But initially, when I looked at it, I thought it was a chicken. I don't know why. Just kind of quickly glanced at it and thought that. But
it is a very nice band, though.
Yeah. And
I mean, the price of these, especially in the UK, is an absolute steal.
What is it?
It's like $11.29 or $11.49, I think.
Is it?
Something like that, yeah. So they're classed as like a bundle cigar. In America, they're big for bundle smokes.
Oh, right.
They'll cost you like $2 over there. Unfortunately, in the UK, we're not that privileged. But yeah, they're big in the US market. Same as the Jura State Factory smokes, which also came in
they're
fairly recent.
Popular, aren't they?
Yeah, they've just been flying off the shelves. But
they taste good too.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I had the Maduro. Did you have the... You had the Connecticut, didn't you?
I had the... What did I have? I think I had the Connecticut.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was good though.
It'd be interesting to smoke the two, one after the other, or within a decent period of time, and kind of compare the two to see what the difference is between the sort of the Connecticut and the Maduro wrapper. But
well, some people actually smoke at the same time. So that's what Usman did recently from Cigar Inspector. He went to some sort of event and they gave him two complete different cigars.
Okay.
To compare, but he smoked them at the same time. It's a weird concept, but he found it enjoyable.
I feel like I'd just lose the flavour profile between the two, though. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, yeah.
Because I feel like you'd get the characteristics from the Maduro wrapper, and then you'd kind of go back over to the Connecticut Shade, and you'd know the difference, because I mean, we always mention anyway that kind of metallic-y taste that you get from the Connecticut.
Yeah.
So I think other than that, I can't imagine there'd be all that much difference.
I'm not sure really. I feel like you'd have to really, really know your leaves in order to tell what the difference is. But anyway, what are we pairing with this today? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we had the luxury of trying this at a recent event, end of last week, which went down an absolute treat. We are sampling with the Seed to Smoke today, the Flor de Cana 12-year-old. Now, this is an all Nicaraguan rum. It is aged in oak barrels, and it is going to give you a sweet kind of flavour profile with a slight oakiness on the finish. So I think the characteristics of this cigar and that are going to kind of gel and marry up quite nicely. So we think. I mean, the cigar that we had the other day kind of went with this hand in hand, absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And typically, as my memory always does, I've actually forgot what cigar it is we enjoyed on the Thursday.
The Cinco.
That was it, the Hoya de Nicaragua Cinco de Cinco.
Good cigar.
It was a good cigar.
It packed a punch though, I thought. I know you don't really get that sort of nicotine hit like I do,
Yeah.
but I found like it was quite a strong cigar. It's quite a meaty cigar. To be fair, it was a Toro.
Yeah, it was, and you kind of tend to stay Corona Robusto size anyway, so it's kind of like a little bit of a jump. You got an extra inch on the old length of the cigar and everything. So, I mean, I quite enjoyed it. I did have it a couple of weeks before, and I would say, full transparency, I enjoyed it a lot more the first time I had it than I did the second.
Well, it's always different every time you try it, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, that's just something that always happens, as you say. But I think, I don't know, I feel like it offered me more in the first time.
That's fair.
But then again, I don't know whether that's because I was because it was for a review, right? I don't know whether it was because I was kind of diving deeper into them flavour profiles and how it really affected me and things like that.
Right.
In the event, you kind of hear their hosting, talking to everybody, you kind of lose it a little bit.
Yeah, I think if we were customers,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't have to worry about that so much.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, because we were hosting the event, it takes away from the experience a little bit for us. I mean, we still get some enjoyment out of it. You know, we sit down, we speak to our customers, and we kind of enjoy it then.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to do so when you're talking about the products and.
Yeah, of course, you still got to give the professional answers and all of that stuff, kind of thing. It's a little bit more than just sort of enjoying the cigar as for what it is, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, enjoyable, and as I say, hopefully this cigar will bring me another very enjoyable experience. But I'm sure we'll get into that in the next 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, for sure. It pairs well with the rum.
I haven't actually had a sip yet. I maybe do
because I just had a sip. The sweetness really goes hand in hand with the sort of earthy tones of the cigar, I think, which is really interesting.
We'll do the old cigar sandwich, as Jeremy always says. So you take a sip, take a puff, then take a sip, see what happens, or other way round. But we'll do both and see what happens.
Yeah.
You smell the sweetness off it straight away. The rum.
It's very, like you said, it smells like apples.
Yeah, I think it smells a lot like apples. You get banana, right?
I get banana. Yeah.
I feel like you get banana off the 15, off the eco.
Oh, maybe the 15. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
See what happens. Sorry for the lip smacking. We haven't got used to the sensitivity of these new microphones yet. It kind of mellows the cigar out a lot, though.
Yeah. Do you mean as in the sweetness overpowers it?
Slightly.
Okay.
In my opinion.
That's
I feel like when you go back to the cigar after taking a sip of the rum, it kind of then slightly overpowers it. It's still good, but the cigar becomes a lot smoother. You don't get that little bit of a kick. The earthiness dies down, in my opinion, as well. But
maybe it'll change because we are literally only just within the first third.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite, in my opinion, quite a mild cigar so far.
Yeah.
As it is. I don't know about you. I mean, you lit up a little bit earlier than me, so you might be a little bit further down.
No, I think you're right. It's quite mild, easygoing. It's good. I'm hoping that.
I'm hoping it opens up.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it gives
complexity.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely going to get stronger, which I hope for, because as I say, at the moment it's kind of very mellow, and obviously I kind of like medium to full-bodied cigars. So far,
I like the mellow one. So
exactly.
It's pretty good for me, but I still like a bit of complexity.
Of course, which I'm sure we will get. Rocky Patel are a pretty well-renowned brand for all of that. So
yeah, I think they're like one of the top dogs in the US.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And they're certainly making their name over here, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
it's been good.
Yeah.
But moving on, should we talk a little bit about the plan for the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, this has probably come as a little bit of a shock. There's probably a little bit of a teaser here and there over our social media and on our website. But yeah, by all means, let's jump into the reasoning and what we got planned.
So we just wanted to do something a little bit different for you guys, because I know currently all of our content goes onto our YouTube channel. We do upload some to Instagram, but it's not as enjoyable for me to watch a 30-minute video on an Instagram.
Yeah. And especially what we as we mentioned with YouTube, unless you have YouTube Premium, which a lot of people don't really pay for, you can't exactly sit down, watch a video and kind of do it on the move. So it kind of ties in with the podcast. We're going to upload this to Spotify as well. Yeah. So hopefully it'll give you more freedom to enjoy a little bit of content with us as well.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully we can get more guests from the industry, and maybe some guests who aren't from the cigar industry too, because I think it's good to get a different range of people on.
100%.
We get to know them a bit more personally too, because, I mean, in videos we kind of focus more so on the product side of things.
On the brands and things.
I think it's important to get to know the person behind it too.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one thing that we really kept in mind. And best of all, a subscription package. But I think what we'll do is we'll come back to that at
we'll
the
talk a
end.
little bit about that at the end, I reckon.
Yeah, so stay tuned whilst we talk all kinds of
random things.
Yep.
Obviously always circling back to the number one, the cigars, the rums, the whiskies, everything like that, which is obviously what you're all here for.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the overall idea was kind of to try and give you more of an idea of kind of what we are like, who we are, what kind of things that we tend to go for more often than not. And yeah, it's a bit more personal, in my opinion.
100%.
But hopefully it'll go well. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Obviously, hopefully you will get involved and let us know, obviously, in future, what you kind of want to see. I mean, we're going to probably put some games in, some blind tastings, both with alcohol and cigars, Cubans, non-Cubans, New Worlds, everything. So hopefully we'll keep it nice and varied, and you guys will enjoy it as much as we will.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It will be fun.
It's a new venture.
Very different. I don't know. Personally, for myself, I don't really listen to many other podcasts. I've got a few that I listen to, but they aren't cigar related. So I think it would be nice to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And hopefully, as I say, you guys will agree. It'll all be
100%
enjoyable.
Right. What are we thinking of the first third?
I mean, we touched on it briefly. My personal opinion so far, enjoyable. It's not something that's really kicking me in the teeth. You don't really have to think too much about it. It's quite mellow, mild. There's not all that much strength, in my opinion. But in terms of construction, I mean, guys, I don't know if you can see on the camera if you're watching. Very, very even burn, strong ash, good stacks. And yeah, overall, visually, construction-wise, pretty much perfect so far. I would say, actually, I kind of want a little bit more smoke output from mine.
Okay.
I feel like it's a little bit... Well, I mean, the cigar itself is packed. Like, so, there is a lot of tobacco
a bit more packed than mine.
Yeah.
Like, mine was a bit softer.
Mm-hmm. So I might have to get a little cigar tool out and open it up a little bit, but...
Maybe.
I mean, once it heats up, it'll expand and allow more airflow anyway, but...
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
I'm going to start with construction, because I think that's an important thing to start with. For me, you saw when I cut the cigar...
Had a bit of a mishap.
It ripped a little bit. Nevertheless, the draw is actually perfect. And the burn is really good too. Mm-hmm. Like you said, the ash is stacking well. Although it does look a bit flaky on mine. Not sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean...
yours is like
perfect.
A bunch of coins stacked on each other. Like, it looks good. For me, mine doesn't look like that. Maybe it's because I'm flailing my arms around like
very animated. That's usually me, and every video ever I'm like this, just running around.
Yeah,
we're switching places.
I think tasting wise, it's very minerally. It's not giving me too much other than that. It's kind of earthy, maybe.
Yeah. As I say, the flavour profiles aren't overly pronounced right now.
No, they're not. But I quite like that. I like it when it builds up.
Yeah.
I don't like it to overwhelm me as soon as
straight away.
Yeah.
You say that though, but the Dom Pep and Garcia Blue Label, the Robusto.
Oh yeah, that was different.
That's a very strange but such a good cigar. And Tony loves it as well.
Like, tell people why that's interesting.
Well, usually when you light a cigar, firstly, you kind of it's mild, right, and it kind of the strength builds, the pepper kind of kicks in the latter stages of a cigar. Usually, strength ramps up. For the Blue Label Robusto, it kind of is the opposite. It's almost like they've put the cap on the wrong end.
Yeah.
So it starts off with a real peppery kick, right?
Yeah.
And then as you kind of come through, the pepper kind of dissipates a little bit, disappears, and it becomes a very smooth. It's not really one-dimensional. It's full of flavour.
It's complex, I think.
Yeah, but when we tried it for the first time, it just blew our mind how it was completely backwards.
Yeah.
And as we said, it was like the cap had been put on the foot of the cigar rather than on the head of it, kind of thing. But phenomenal cigar in my opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%.
As I say, Tony comes to our events month after month, and he loves them.
Yeah.
I mean, he picks one up pretty much every time he's here.
Yeah, he loves everything though, doesn't he?
He does love a cigar.
He's a true aficionado.
Yeah, he's getting there.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's good to have that common ground with someone as well, though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And as I say, we learn from our customers just as much as people learn from us, really.
Yeah.
Which we bang on about all the time in our normal production videos, but
yeah, we get a lot of customers asking us if we can get certain types of cigars and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought we'd talk about what cigars we would like to try that we haven't tried yet, or things that we can't get in the UK.
Yeah.
So Billy, I know you've got a couple, and I have a couple too.
I have, yes. I mean, the first one is from Drew Estate. It's one that, I mean, we get customers and people asking us, emailing in all the time about this cigar. And the kind of demand for it is the reason I've put this in, and the reason as to why I really want to try it, because I just want to see what the hype's all about. Unfortunately, we don't have it in the UK. It's very big in America, as most New World cigars are. But that is the Drew Estate Blackened M81. It's a blend crafted by Drew Estate, and it's a collaboration with James Hetfield, the Metallica co-founder, singer and guitarist. From what I've heard, and I mean, Metallica has got to be heavy sort of cigar. If you're going to marry the two up,
if you've seen it,
I mean,
it's going to be
black.
A heavy cigar. It's a.
But I feel like there's going to be some sweetness.
Maybe.
But this is what I mean. I feel like because of how dark it is and that preconception of it's almost black, it's definitely going to be really heavy and really strong. I'd like to see if it's more on the sweet side than sort of the smoky bonfire side.
Maybe.
But it's one that's always intrigued me because of how many people kind of ask about it, how many times customer care email and say, are we going to get this one in? Are we getting this one in? And hopefully in the future we will. But unfortunately for now, I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, we're talking about Metallica, one of the biggest metal bands in the world. Yeah. And Drew Estate, one of the, in my personal opinion, one of the best brands out there in the tobacco industry. So,
a huge brand.
You know, I kind of get the hype. And I'd be intrigued to try it too. I feel like
the look of it as well. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, some cigars kits tend to do that to you.
Would you have to listen to Metallica as you're smoking it though?
I feel like that's more up your street than
definitely
mine.
More. I do like a bit of metal. I love.
I can't get on board.
Yeah,
I can't get on board.
50 Cent.
Yeah, old school sort of rap music and I mean modern day stuff as well. It's varied, but I don't tend to drop into the metal or the heavy sort of drummy music.
No, you don't like that. I love it. I love it. Always have, always will.
There's a few people around the office that kind of like it.
Yeah.
But then when it comes on in the office and you feel like you got a headache coming, it's not great.
Sometimes it helps.
Sometimes. I just put headphones on. But you've got a couple as well. I mean, obviously I haven't said both of mine yet, but we'll jump in between. Yeah. We'll keep it varied.
So my first one is the Upsetters range from Foundation Cigars. Now, those who know me well know that I love Foundation Cigars because the blends that Nick Melillo comes up with is just truly unique. And it's hard to compare them to any other cigar range out there.
The master of the Connecticut broadleaf.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. Literally, I mean, George's words, not ours, but...
It's just... Like, every cigar that I've tried from them, is just really different. Like the first one was the Charles Roque. That was
your favourite cigar for a while.
That was really unique because it tasted like honey, but there was a bit of spice in there. There's a bit of earthiness. Like the complexity was incredible. And I've said this a few times, but there is a fine line when it comes to complexity. It can either be too complex or it can be perfect.
Yeah.
Or not complex.
We've had the experience of a majorly too complex cigar that we won't mention.
We have, yeah. But I feel like Foundation do something right. And the Upsetters range is one range that I have seen on their website that I am really intrigued about because it's actually made to celebrate the diversity of global tobacco and Nick's passion for Jamaica. And the Vitolas are very unique as well. I think they use different blends for the wrappers. Don't quote me on that. But so they got one cigar which is, it's thinner on the head and then it gets fatter towards the bottom.
Okay.
A bit like...
Crazy Alice.
A bit like the Crazy Alice.
Is it the Crazy Alice? Yeah, Fat Bottom Betty's like the... Yeah.
So the Crazy Alice. A bit similar to that. So if you've seen it, it's thinner on the top and then the rink gauge gets bigger as you get further down the cigar. I think that's really unique. I don't know if I would try that one, but they have got, like...
Standard Parejo sort of...
Exactly. Yeah. And I just think it looks cool.
Has it got Jamaican tobacco in it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because, I mean, I've never heard of it. So, I mean, that is a very intriguing thing if they've got sort of that kind of tobacco in there or anything like that.
I'm not actually 100% sure. I'll have to check up.
I mean, we can fact check it. We can have a look.
Yeah.
But we'll do that in a second.
That's the first one on my list, and I think that would be awesome. So, Nick, if you're listening or watching, please send some.
We'll get George involved as well. Yeah. He can contact him for us.
So, what's your second one?
So my second one, it's not a specific, it's a line of cigars. It's called Crowned Heads La Carême. Again, another brand that is massive in the US, and don't quote me on it, but I feel like we may eventually see it come over to the UK. I mean, hopefully, again, same as the Drew Estate Blackened. Hopefully, obviously, can't guarantee, unfortunately, but it's basically another cigar that has the Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, which is similar to what you were saying about with the Foundation range, and it was rated 92 by Cigar Aficionado. Another cigar that I see masses of information and masses of hype around over on that part of the world. Unfortunately, nothing here. But again, it's another one that when it comes, I will definitely be picking up one or two to definitely try.
It looks nice.
It does, yeah. It's a nice sort of dark wrapper, as you see. You've seen the Connecticut broadleaf. Darker wrappers, kind of my go-to. When I look into a cigar or anything, if I go into a humidor, I don't tend to go for Connecticut's all that much. I prefer that darker, deeper flavour profiles, the earthiness, coffee, things like that. And I just haven't found a Connecticut that really hits the spot as such.
No.
I mean, for a totally different Regis. Totally different reasons.
Right.
The Regis Siri Limitada and the light wrapper on that just brings mountains of creaminess and sweetness. That kind of flavour, amazing.
That is a great cigar.
100%. Same as the Drew Estate Undercrown, the Shade. Another cigar, very beautiful. That's really, Sarah's really favourite as well. Yeah. She comes to the events and she'll have the cigar of the evening, and then all of a sudden she'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get another one." That's my impersonation of her. But yeah, another one that I'm really excited about, and hopefully we get to try in the future.
Cool. I think they're two really good cigars. I mean, I can't say from personal
No,
experience.
exactly. Unfortunately, we can't exactly comment too much. We can't give too much information because obviously we just haven't had the opportunity to sample them. But I mean, you've got one more as well, so
yeah. And that is the La Aroma de Cuba, Connecticut. Now, this one's a Nicaraguan cigar. This is light to medium in strength, and it's supposed to be smooth and creamy, and it looks beautiful. Like, you know, I love a lighter strength cigar. I don't like something that's too heavy.
We're kind of opposites on that.
We are a little bit.
It's like the only thing that we're other ends of the spectrum of.
Yeah.
Most things we kind of marry into each other, but with that, it's kind of like, I like this and I like this.
Yeah, 100%. But I think it looks like a beautiful cigar, and I think you can maybe get them in the UK, but I don't think many retailers do them. Okay. So it's one that I'd love to see. us get in.
Mm.
Who knows? I mean, maybe we will.
Is there any Cuban cigars that you'd really want to try? I know we haven't thought about it as such, but just...
The old Davidoff.
Oh, the Davidoff
Yeah.
Cuban lines. Oh, okay.
I feel like that's the obvious answer, really.
I can't remember the Vitola that came out, but it was the one that we came across the other day. It was the Partagas, the Grand Reserva.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
It
that
does.
The black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember we spoke about it, and when I first started here, we had I believe it was a Cohiba Grand Reserva, and it was around like it was either 250 or like £500.
Bit of a difference.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
It's up there.
It's very
it's
expensive.
A high-end cigar, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't fancy paying that much money for a cigar, but if the opportunity arisen, I'd be all over it. And that's strange because Cuban.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't really found many Cubans that you enjoy, which is fine because I feel like
I'm opening more to them. I feel like I'm giving them more of a chance, and they offer me a little bit more now, or I just appreciate them for what they are.
Yeah.
But then when you compare it to a New World, in my opinion, just...
When we had an event, I can't remember if it was the start of this year or last year, but we had the Partagas Series D number 4. That was unbelievable, honestly.
Was it like October?
Maybe, but that
think
was
so,
honestly
that was the one that
so
come out really
memorable
early
for me,
Mm.
that cigar. And
I
I don't know if that was the first Partagas I'd had, which is weird, considering I've been there for 4.5 years.
Yeah. I forget how many cigars I've smoked at this point.
It's a
Like,
lot, isn't it?
Yeah, you get asked, especially at events or people in the shop, and it's like, oh yeah, how do you think about this one? It's like, I have tried it. I've had about 1 million ones before, but...
I think it's easy to remember the incredible ones and the ones that are bad.
Yeah.
Or bad in your opinion, because there's no bad cigar. Okay, just putting that out there. There's no bad cigar.
There's a cigar there that is appreciated by certain people, or...
Yeah. So it's kind of like that middle ground that you forget, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean we do have to enjoy and sample a fair few at this point. So, can't remember all of them all the time.
No. But,
especially with a memory like ours.
I mean, we do so many events, so we get to try quite a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
Which is
and we've got stupid amounts coming up.
Oh, we have? Do you want to read some out?
Yeah, I mean, I can do. I mean, just in April alone, across various locations that we have, we've got 15 in total. We got 3. I won't say all the dates. I mean, they're all on the website, newsletters and things as well that I'm sure that you all receive. But Leeds have 3 events across this month, if obviously you're in the area. St James, we do have 1 event there, and then we have 4 events in Edinburgh and our La Casa del Habana, 1 in Knutsford, 2 in Chester, and 3 in Liverpool. And we also have a little bit more of a impromptu special event, I suppose.
Yes.
It's one that we're doing with James J. Fox. It's on the 17th. It is at the St James Lounge. I was going to say in St James, but
I mean, St James.
Obvious, yeah, exactly. James. And that's going to have 3 Aladino cigars. You're going to have a selection of our very own Staladu single malt whiskies, and we'll have special guests Justo Araya and Vivian Araya from JRE Tobacco. So if you haven't already secured your spot, I would definitely check them out and see what sort of takes your fancy. You will not regret it. They are amazing evenings, really relaxed, laid back, and you get to sample some amazing cigars.
I think that event's going to be really good because Justo is a really big name in the industry.
My pronunciation is just horrendous.
But Justo and Vivian are part of JRE Tobacco, essentially, and they make Aladino cigars and they make other blends as well. But Aladino are unbelievable.
Yeah,
they really are.
And they're a very good crossover as well, because we always bang on about it when people ask us about it, but they're Cuban seed, right? So
they're grown from Cuban seed, yeah.
I feel like you get a lot of characteristics that you would get from your Cuban smokes as well. So if you're someone that kind of enjoys Cuban cigars, that wants to transition or open their what's the word? Horizons, broaden their horizons. That's the one.
Yeah.
If you want to broaden your horizons and move on from sort of solely Cuban and get into the new world to see what that has to offer, Aladino is a great one because it's going to give you the same sort of characteristics with hints here and there of extra complexity.
Yeah.
And construction and all of that stuff.
Do you have a favourite Aladino?
Probably the Corojo Robusta. Yeah.
I think mine would be the classic.
The classic, okay.
That was, oh my God, that was so good.
I can't remember if I've had that one.
I don't think you have.
I think I've had the Connecticut's pretty good as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
as
they're all
Connecticut's
good.
go,
Yeah.
it is good.
It's a unique shape as well.
Mm-hmm. You get the Queen's Perfecto and then you've
Yeah.
got the Robusta as well. But
Great cigars.
yeah, as I say, I've not had a bad one so far.
Yeah. But it will be nice to have some great guests at that event too.
Yeah, of
but
course.
to be fair, we also have guests at a lot of the other events. So
Mm-hmm.
be sure to check the listings on our website at Cigars to find out if we have any special guests. I
Of
think we
course.
have special guests at most of our events. don't we?
The
So-
majority of, yeah, you will have events sort of here and there that don't have any representatives from brands and stuff, but that's sort of few and far between now. I feel like all of our locations kind of get involved and get all the reps from all the brands as much as they possibly can, both from the alcohol side of things and the cigar side of things. So
Yeah.
gives you that opportunity to have a little bit more in depth, a little bit more knowledge, and a chance to meet some household names in the industry.
It's not just about talking about tobacco and whatnot,
No.
is it?
No.
Because you do get to know them a lot more personally than that. And
Of course.
I think when you build a kind of, I guess, in a way, relationship with the person behind a brand, it makes that brand so much more special.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've built up a relationship between us and George Frakes from 1573 Cigars.
Yeah.
And his passion and his knowledge is just, like, unbelievable.
He's like an encyclopedia.
Honestly,
quite
like,
literally.
he'll turn up with books and books of information that he'll know. And it's just incredible. And
But it's down to the pinpointed specific dates, years, everything.
yeah,
Like, it is anything you could ask, you'll probably know the answer
Yeah.
to.
like, his passion is just second to none. It's incredible.
It's kind of inspiring at the same time.
It really is. And
Because you
he's
feel
such
like-
a unique character too.
Yeah.
Like, he's so different.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it more memorable
100%.
and enjoyable. So, I remember the first time we sat down with him, it was just such a great experience. And
Yeah.
the events that we've done with him.
We've got another one coming up.
We have on the 2nd of May, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the next event, actually, for
Yeah.
us.
So, what cigar is that?
The Highclere Castle Victorian Toro, I believe.
Oh, okay, that's the red band.
Yes.
Okay,
and
cool.
we're pairing that with Nika Days, so Japanese whiskey, blended whiskey.
Okay.
I mean, I've had Nika a couple of times. I feel like we did like staff training here. Excuse me. Sort of midpoint last year, something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, that was with Speciality Brands. That's another one. Speciality. Shout out to them because they're great people. Know a lot about the alcohol side of things, and the different reps from the different brands. All are top notch. Really, really good people. But yeah, that should be a good event. I
It
feel
will
like
be.
that'll marry up quite nicely.
100%. Nika's a great brand, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's a household name in Japanese whiskey too.
It really is.
Mhm.
There are a lot of good Japanese spirits out there. I
Mhm.
mean, one of my favourites is probably Roku Gin. I know it's a gin. But
Gin. Do you like
Yeah.
gin?
Not on its own,
Okay.
but I had it.
Would you mix it with like a G&T?
No, I'll
Gin and
have it
tonic.
with
It's like a
with
mum.
lemonade.
Oh,
But
okay, that's a bit better.
I remember going to Wetherspoons once with a bunch of friends, and for some reason my friend ordered a Roku Gin and lemonade,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "What is that?" Because I'd never seen him with a gin whatsoever.
Mm.
And he was like, "Oh, it's a Roku Gin and lemonade." I was like, "Oh, we sell that? Can I try it?" And I tried it. I was like, "Oh my god, this is good."
Yeah.
I had to order one.
I can't get on board with gin.
You say that.
It's so
I think
floral.
it is. It
Maybe
was
I haven't got
very
the right
sweet.
one, but-
It was very sweet.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan.
That's fair enough.
Same as I don't really mix anything with lemonade, and I don't feel like you can have gin and like Coke, can you? Can you do that? I suppose you can, drink it how you
I
want.
don't know
But
if I would do that. I don't know if I'd recommend that.
I feel like it's always tonic or
Tonic, 100%.
my mum drinks that. Horrible.
Yeah,
Tonic water.
I remember downstairs. I was in the packing room and I really wanted a water,
Mm.
and we didn't have any.
So you thought, yeah, I'll have a tonic.
Well, yeah. So someone said to me, "Oh, we've got a tonic. If you want to have that," as like a laugh, and I was like, "Do you know what? Yeah, sure." Because I'd never had it before. I was like, "It's probably just like special water, isn't it?" No, it wasn't. It was. It wasn't very nice.
I was gonna say that's worse than sparkling water. However,
I love sparkling water. Just saying.
do you know what I used to as a kid? Like when I was, I mean, as a kid, people are probably looking, thinking, you're probably still a kid. But I mean, like when I was really young, my mum used to always buy sparkling water, so I used to try it all the time. Loved it. Now it's like drinking TV static.
I was going to say it's kind of like TV static.
Yeah.
It's such a weird concept, but it works.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I do enjoy sparkling water. Only if it's cold though. If it's warm, it's a bit not very nice.
Yeah. What's your chosen spirit though? Because I mean, I kind of sort of know. I mean, you don't drink all that often, or
I don't
tend to dabble in alcohol all that much. To be fair,
I'm not really big on spirits, but there are some that are memorable.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, the Flor de Cana. That's why we picked it today, because I was like, well, great.
Dalmore, in terms of whiskey,
Dalmore 12.
Dalmore, yeah.
That's very sweet, very unique.
The cigar malt's good too.
The Brugal 1888. That's one of your favourites. That's a great one as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for rum, more so than anything else.
Do you know what makes me laugh though about you?
What's that?
You'll say, "Oh, I don't like this, don't like that," and then you'll try it and you go, "That's not actually that bad. Quite like that." He does it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of these people, especially with like food and things. I mean, food for me is like a big topic, and everyone kind of rips me for it because it's like, have you even tried it? No. How do you know you don't like it? It's like that kind of mentality, like a child.
Yeah, pretty much.
Stick to what you know, and you'll never be disappointed.
Yeah, but that's boring.
It's
a bit boring, not?
Yeah, but it's just easier, isn't it?
The
easiest way to explain it, right? If you go to a nice restaurant, meals are like, I don't know, 70 odd pound, and you've got a choice between a fillet steak, which I guarantee I'll like, or some random prawn dish. Why would I choose the one that I'm not sure on?
Yeah, but that's because you're paying £70.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like, but you before you've said to me, because I get chopsticks quite a lot. I do like chopsticks. Just plug chopsticks. You said to me, "Oh, is that chopsticks?" And then today you got chopsticks.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed it. Did you not?
Because not long after I said to you, like, I had it with my friend in Norwich, and it was actually really good.
Exactly.
So yeah, today I felt
something.
Yeah, I felt something a little bit different. I've got to be in the mood. Just to be fair, it's rice and chicken. It can't really go wrong.
Not really. Unless they undercook it, that's a problem.
Yeah, let's hope that didn't happen.
Yeah, I hope not.
Tomorrow we'll be feeling the wrath of that.
So, let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of at the midway point coming into the second third.
We're getting there. But
I mean, it's opening up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe before that we'll talk about some guests. Or dream guests.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about guests that we're probably actually going to get on, but nothing's solidified, so we kind of don't want to get people's hopes up. But yeah, dream guests.
Okay, start us off then.
Start us off.
You've got some good ones, to be fair. I've looked at them, they're pretty good.
I have, but they're from very different backgrounds. But there's kind of reasoning for it. I mean, I didn't want to just come on here and say, Eddie Sahakian or anything like that, like just people at the top of the cigar industry, because everyone's going to say that. So obviously, I thought, we'll change it up a little bit and give you a little bit more of an insight, kind of who I'd really like to sit down and chat to. We had to kind of narrow it down to 3, and I still couldn't even do that. We've got 4, but the first one for me, Jeremy Sayers. I know I mentioned him a little bit earlier. He is someone that is kind of in the cigar industry, has his own line of cigars over in America. And he's based over in Kentucky. No, he's from Kentucky, based in Florida.
Maybe
something like that.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I mean, his whole aesthetic is just tattoos, big beard, long. No, I say long hair. He hasn't got long hair. That's an absolute lie. He just wears a hat all the time. But he's got his own podcast. He's got his own channel. Does like barbecue reviews. I mean, I'm not really that interested in barbecues, but it's kind of the personality that I kind of like.
It's very your thing. Like the dark aesthetic. It's cool. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
it. Like on his set, he's got a whole bar, a whole thing behind him
Yeah.
of drinks.
Yeah.
You know, he's into like guns.
Yeah. Just
Like,
proper
he's
American.
a proper man.
Yeah.
Like
That's the easiest way to kind of
Yeah.
think. It's like proper American bloke.
yeah.
That's kind of what it is. But I just think his personality, the way he is, the way he talks about things, he kind of isn't this really sort of polished product kind of thing. It's just, he says it how he is. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, sweet kind of thing. That's what I kind of like.
Yeah, it's good to be raw.
Yeah, exactly. I think it just offers you a little bit more, and it's a bit more personal. You can kind of understand the people, and then he gets like his family involved in his podcast, like his wife and stuff like that. So I think it kind of just sits right with me. I like it.
Yeah.
So I
think
enjoy
that's
that.
a good one.
So I think sitting down with him, and it'd be easy. Imagine having a podcast with him. He has his own podcast. He knows exactly what he's doing. You just sit down and
Yeah.
talk at that point.
Yeah.
It's like no stress.
Yeah, really cool guy.
Yeah. My next two, as I say, I have four, but these two are kind of from a sporting background. I love sport. I'm big into sport. Played sport, all of that stuff. But Michael Jordan and Steph Curry. Michael Jordan, I mean, icon in the basketball.
I mean, you don't
sort
really
of-
have to explain that, do you?
No, exactly.
He loves cigars as well.
Loves cigars. Every time he wins a championship, Cohiba hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Perfect. Steph Curry, same sort of thing. Just the top of the game currently. Arguably one of the best players that ever graced the court alongside Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, things like that. But they're just two people that I'd like to sit down and speak to about their whole background, how they got into it and all of that stuff. I think it's just interesting. And as I say, bonus they'd sit down and enjoy a cigar with me if they were to do that. But
100%.
I think it's a little bit of a far-fetched one. I don't think I'm going to get them guys on.
I don't know. Never say never. If anyone knows them, please get in touch.
Yeah. And then the last one, a little bit of a rogue shout, but it's kind of the story behind him. And not necessarily, I don't agree with everything he did, obviously, because it's just not great, but it's interesting. He goes against the grain.
Mm-hmm.
So my final pick was Jordan Belfort, and if anybody's seen the film Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio plays him in that film. It's just unhinged.
He's a character.
Yeah, and I think now, since he's come out of prison in real life and he does podcasts and he kind of talks about his story and all of that stuff and how everything happened, and I just think it's interesting. I think it's just against the normal, and I just think I'd just be intrigued from start to finish. It's like a Crime Watch documentary or like murder mysteries or something.
He's got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he's done his time.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of podcasts, doesn't he? So it would be very interesting.
Yeah.
100%.
I just think he's got something to talk about. He's got a story as such. So
Yeah.
that would be my 3 picks. I mean, 4, but you know what I mean. But yeah. How about you?
Well,
I feel like I've rambled a little bit there, Jet.
my first one would be Joe Rogan. Now, I know that that was going to be one of your picks, and I was like, well, I was going to pick Joe Rogan. And then you were like, okay, well, I'll go Michael Jordan, Steph Curry then. So, I mean, I don't really need to say much about Joe Rogan. Biggest podcast in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a character. He's done so much, you know. He's hosted TV shows. He's done UFC. He's a UFC commentator, stand-up comedy, and the biggest podcast in the world. Like, it's Joe Rogan.
I was going to say, imagine being him.
He's such an awesome guy.
Like, he sits down with, like, Elon Musk.
I know.
And, like, quantum physicists and stuff.
Have you us soon?
Yeah. That's if the viewers get the spread on and get us that big.
Have you seen this kick as well? Like, the power of his legs is nuts.
Yeah. Scary.
Scary, but seems like such a nice dude.
Yeah.
And I'd kill to have him on the podcast. I think that would be incredible.
His stories would be amazing too.
Oh, 100%. Like, he's listened to so many guests.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you know what shocks me about him?
What's that?
No matter who he's got on, he can sit there and have a civilized, knowledgeable conversation with whoever it is.
Oh, yeah, for hours.
So, like, quantum physicists, anything like that. Like, I'm interested in stuff. Don't even know how to scratch the surface on the topics, really.
Yeah.
But he'll sit there and he'll be asking them questions that make them dive into, like, the real nitty-gritty of that.
Yeah.
It just
like
makes no
unique
sense.
questions.
Yeah.
They're not just like your general questions, like, oh, how'd you get into it? Which
Yeah.
we ask.
Yeah, don't throw us under the bus.
But he'll do that for like 4 hours straight
Mm-hmm.
with a guest. Like he did a podcast with Post Malone, which is 4.5 hours.
Uh-huh.
Elon Musk again, another really long pod. Like it's incredible. Like how do you do that? He's so knowledgeable and eager to learn. I think that is such a good characteristic to have, and he's just really charismatic, and I think that would be a really cool guest.
I agree.
Another one of my dream podcast guests has been on his podcast actually, and that is Graham Hancock. Now I don't know if Graham Hancock actually going back to Joe Rogan. Sorry to cut back, but he actually loves Foundation Cigars as well.
He does, yeah.
So
And he has
his podcast links to my other two dream guests. Weirdly, don't they?
They've both been on there.
I don't
The second
know.
one, he's been on there, hasn't he?
I don't think he's been on there. Okay, right.
He's just...
So my second dream podcast guest is Nick Melillo. Now Nick is the founder of Foundation Cigars. So obviously I love Foundation Cigars. What else can I say? Joe
Also
Rogan
worked at Drew Estate.
He did work at Drew Estate, yeah. He Joe Rogan loves Foundation Cigars, and Nick actually blended him a box of cigars too, which is just super cool. And it would be really interesting to hear about his background, how he got into it, and then I could also ask him if I could come on a tour of the factory.
Yeah, I mean, 2 tickets available.
That would be a dream.
Yeah.
And then my last dream podcast guest is Graham Hancock. Now, Graham has been on the Joe Rogan podcast. Graham, for those who don't know, I don't know if he smokes cigars, but he is a British writer who promotes pseudoscientific theories involving ancient civilizations and hypothetical lost lands.
So like what, like Atlantis?
Yeah, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of my favorite ever clips of him is talking about the Amazon rainforest, and he was talking about how the Amazon basin is so big that you could fit the whole subcontinent of India within it. That's how big it is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he was explaining how there were all of these civilizations within the Amazon rainforest, but they had to create their own soil to survive because the soil there was poor. So they made a soil so they could grow crops. Like, how nuts is that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's just things like that. He's just...
Same sort of thing that Davidoff did. Same sort of thing that Davidoff did with his Massa blend.
Yeah, that's actually true.
I mean, we'll probably touch on that
Yeah,
eventually
we can touch on that, but
in certain podcasts. But
he's just such an interesting guy, and I think it would be so cool to ask him about everything.
100%.
Because even if these are just theories and there's no
Truth behind it.
It's still just interesting to me.
Yeah, it's crazy how they kind of link everything to make it make so much sense. It could be the most outlandish thing, but it'll make sense. But I think that with most sort of, what are they called?
Conspiracy theories?
That's the one. Conspiracy theories. They're just...
I don't think he goes into conspiracy theories.
Okay.
He just goes into theories. It's a little bit different.
Is it?
A little bit.
I suppose conspiracy is completely made up. I guess.
Maybe in a way, conspiracy... I don't really know how to explain it, but they are different.
Someone let us know in the comments how... What is it? Conspiracy theories. I keep forgetting that word. Conspiracy theories and just theories
are different.
Because I guess I have no idea.
But I think he would be a really, really good one to invite. And
I agree.
His work is incredible as well. He has like a lot of documentaries and interviews and whatnot that he has, which is really cool.
Same as like Neil deGrasse Tyson and things like that. Like, if I had a longer list, there'd be a lot of physicists and things involved. I just think it's all very interesting and understanding how sort of everything comes about. Atoms and things like that, and how things are made, and I think it's just one of them things that I'm quite interested in.
Life is weird.
Yeah, it is. It just gets weirder as well.
Like, we're on the tiny speck in the middle of a huge universe.
That's Amy's favourite saying. Don't worry about it. We're just a floating rock.
But we're just like a tiny speck on this.
Yeah, but it just goes on and
this
on
floating
and on.
rock.
It goes
on
on
this
and on.
floating rock. But here we are, smoking a cigar.
Exactly. It's insane.
It's like, we can't be alone.
No.
There's aliens out there.
I fully
100%.
don't. Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
Have you seen any UFOs?
No.
I have. I swear to God, I know.
What do you mean you've seen? What was it?
Oh,
Saying that?
I don't know.
Oh, what's the guy's name?
I don't know, man.
He was wanted by like the FBI and stuff for talking about aliens and stuff.
Oh,
he did a podcast.
Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar. He's
Yeah.
interesting. I mean, some of the stuff he says
Well,
gets worse and worse. But
he claims he worked on
Area
some
51 and stuff.
UFOs in Area 51, and then they erased his whole like data
yeah,
and everything, which is crazy.
yeah. But then you get whistleblowers about loads of things that just end up dead.
Of
Like
course,
the Bowen,
of course.
Bowen one recently.
But would they then not kill him off because they think, right, that information he's leaked is so outrageous, no one's going to believe him anyway. So we'll just make them think he's crazy.
Probably.
Because I think that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, but then you go to a different sort of case, if you like it. And I mean, it's always in America, but you go there with the Bowen thing, and the guy was found dead the day before he was going to testify.
Yeah, that's
about
true.
all of the planes not working and cutting out in testing and things like that, and
Yeah, that's crazy.
makes you
That
wonder,
does
doesn't
make
it?
you question.
Makes you
it.
think about flights.
Yeah. But
I'd still jump on one.
I do think I've seen a UFO.
Where?
So I've like there's been
You sure
a few
wanna
times.
shoot and start?
No, I swear to God, I was with friends every time,
Right.
every single time. The first time I was at this abandoned place, like Pontins, like if you
Mhm,
go past
mhm.
California, not in the US, but me and I think it was about 8 or 9 other people, and we saw this light up in the air. It was flashing, so you'd think it's a plane, but it wasn't moving like a plane. It was just bobbing around,
Okay.
and it wasn't a helicopter because you would hear that. There was no sound, and it
Yeah, that
just
is
moved
strange.
along slowly. It kept like changing directions, and we all saw this, like every single one of us, because we were like, "What is that?" And we tried to figure out what it was. We were like, "Is it a drone?" But then again, the light was big, and it was really high up, and
Makes you
then we
wonder.
thought maybe it could be something to do with the RAF base because we
Yeah.
are kind of located near an RAF
There's a
base.
few around. I mean, within distances,
Yeah.
but.
So could have been something to do with that.
Mm.
And then the second time I was with a smaller group of friends, but there were 3 of my friends at the car. So we were at the beach down Yarmouth, like the other end
Mhm.
where the camp is, Haven. And it was me and my friend Harry. We were just sitting there looking up into the sky because it was
Mhm.
it was really dark. And it was a clear night, so you could see all the stars. And as my friends were talking, we were just staring, like just chilling, talking about stuff. All of a sudden, we saw just a triangular black shape fly past and cover all of the stars. And we both freaked out. I
that's
swear to
crazy,
God,
fair.
this happened, and it's honestly, it blew my mind. It blew our minds.
Everyone's going to be in the comments saying that you're talking absolute.
Maybe so, but I know what I saw, and
We
maybe
believe
it's
it.
a stealth bomber. Who knows?
Maybe.
Could have been. It certainly was that shape, but let us know in the comments if you have ever experienced a UFO or anything supernatural, I guess.
I saw a shooting star the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's like one of the first times I've actually fully seen it from start to finish.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice. Did you make a wish?
I'm not very wishful.
Okay. It's cool though. I've only ever seen one, to be fair.
I mean, we've gone down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Should we circle round,
You have, yeah.
touch on this cigar? I mean, what are your experience throughout the sort of middle third? Is anything changing all that much for you? Because
Construction.
construction?
I'm enjoying it, but as you saw when I cut it earlier, I ripped the cigar and it's kind of ripped around the top
Mhm.
there. I'm still getting a good draw from it, but it is going out every now and then, so I'm having to relight it. But flavour-wise, it's still quite mild, and I'd say in strength it's quite mild as
Yeah.
well. Still, It's.
I mean, what was it? What is it? Medium to full, or is it medium?
It's
remember
medium to full. It's medium to full. But
I wouldn't necessarily agree.
That's fair though, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
Like, a cigar to me might be mild. Cigar to you
Mhm.
might be full. Like, there's no right or wrong when it comes to that.
That's why we got a few chocolates on hand because
Yeah.
we don't want any
Oh yeah, 100%.
mishaps there.
But taste wise, I think it's still very earthy. I'm getting a lot more charred oak, I think.
Okay.
Maybe a bit of nuttiness in there as well. But it is ever so slightly creamy. Like, it's very smooth actually. It's very smooth. I'll give it that. What do you taste?
I can see what you mean slightly by the charred, but it's on the finish. It's not one that sits, always, I say sits, is within like the smoke whilst it's in your mouth whilst you're passing it around your palate. It kind of, once you've blown the smoke out, it's that kind of lingering, kind of charredness on the back end.
Yeah.
That's where I'd get that from.
Yeah.
There's slight sweetness here and there. I can't really pinpoint a specific sweetness that it is.
Yeah.
Because it is very kind of mellow and kind of, as I say, in the background. Thick smoke, minerally, you can kind of almost chew the smoke. I know we say that quite a lot.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, it's very enjoyable so far. On the retro, I mean, retros can usually, or can be, quite peppery.
Mm-hmm.
Make your eyes water, nose burn. With this, very, very, very smooth retro. I don't know if you've done it yet with this, but it's very smooth. I saw the little flinch then of you.
I don't usually retro ale, do I?
No.
But I agree.
Yeah, it doesn't... I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. So if you was, say like a Plasencia Alma Fuerte,
Yeah.
retro held too much of that smoke, your eyes are going to water.
Yeah.
Because it is...
It's a very thick smoke.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more full-bodied
Great
in my
cigar, though.
experience. One of my favourites,
Yeah.
but we'll get onto that eventually. But yeah, I think overall construction stayed really, really, really good. Not had to touch it up or anything like that. Draw opened up a lot more. I think the kind of lack of smoke to begin with is probably just for the journey of the smoke that it has to take all the way down this Toro. But yeah, I can't really complain. I see why they're big in America. Bundle cigars. You could quite easily smoke this throughout the day, pretty much every day.
And for like $2.
And yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, not like that for here. I mean, it's under 12,
not.
which is
It's very
cheap.
expensive to import tobacco over in the UK, and a lot of people always question it. But that is essentially why we get taxed heavily on tobacco. So that is why prices are a lot higher here.
Which is the same as New York State in America. Their taxes are really high as well.
Oh, I didn't
so
know
like their prices are more on par with ours than other states.
But it's good because we price them as low as we can, as low as we possibly can. And I think it's still a really good price.
Yeah. As I say, I mean, in the UK, if you're not used to kind of paying our prices, then this is perfect. I mean, £12, that's a steal.
Yeah, for what, Toro?
For a Toro, that's a steal.
That's crazy.
You do well to get one under £25 normally, for most brands.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I think, again, if you haven't tried one of these, definitely pick one up. They will probably soon become one of your daily smokes.
Yeah.
Because as I say, you've got that lower price point, but you're still getting a Toro, you're still getting great construction, great flavour. And it's something, as I say, in my personal opinion, I could probably enjoy from waking up in the morning with a coffee.
Yeah.
Throughout the day.
Yeah, I did notice a lot of people saying that was a very good morning smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think of the band? I have mixed opinions. Yeah,
we touched on it earlier. I know I'm big into gold, but I feel like gold you can quite easily go wrong with if it's too yellow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of too yellow.
Yeah, it does have a yellow sort of look to it.
And the annoying thing for me, this is me being picky to be fair, the Rocky Patel label on the side, does yours overlap?
Yep.
It's annoying. I think It could be better, but again, these are their budget smokes.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
not gonna
Yeah,
pump stupid amounts of money into the band and things. I highly doubt, because I mean it's just gonna drive the price through the roof.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I think for what the cigar is, the purpose of it, everything like that, I think it is pretty much perfect.
Yeah, I agree. I actually do.
And I wouldn't ever turn my nose up to one.
No. It's really enjoyable. Like I feel like I don't really need to think about it.
No, that's what I mean. It's not overly complex to the point where you have to sit there and think, oh, what's that?
No.
Or what's that? Because we'll do reviews sometimes, and it's like I'm getting a taste, I'm getting a flavour note, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah. Sometimes I say less is more.
Yeah.
And I feel like this, well, so far, because I'm still only in the middle third, only just. It's still not giving too much complexity, but I quite like that.
Yeah. As I say, for an everyday smoke, I think this is probably one of the top 3.
Yeah. What's your construction like?
Pretty much perfect. Perfect? Perfect, to be honest. As I said earlier, right at the start, with it kind of having less smoke output, it has dramatically increased as I've got further down, which I expected it when the leaves expand with the heat and stuff. I can't really complain all that much. There's a little bit of a split coming from the cap, which hasn't really made any difference at all, to be perfectly honest. So again, it's not something I can really complain about. But yeah, overall, as I say, burns pretty even. Ash is stacking well. Overall, it's just very enjoyable, especially for the price point. That just makes it 10 times better.
Oh, 100%. It's a beautiful cigar. It really is.
Of course. Speaking of sort of beautiful cigars, right? Everyone knows, or I feel like everyone knows, the experience is what makes a cigar.
Oh, yeah.
You can smoke a cigar completely on your own or in company that you're not necessarily used to or anything like that, and it might just take away from the cigar a little bit. But
or add.
Sorry?
Or add.
Or add.
Yep.
There's an ideal smoking scenario, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I think I have 2 answers to this question, but I'm going to ask you. What is your sort of preferred setting when you're enjoying a cigar? Do you like to be on your own? Do you like to be in the company of other people? Sort of location, things like that?
Okay. Definitely prefer with other people, firstly. There is rarely ever a time where I'll just sit alone and smoke a cigar. I have done, and I've enjoyed it. To be fair, we're coming towards middle spring, and then summer, obviously. So I probably will at some point sit on my own and have a cigar. But I find it more enjoyable with other people. I'd say ideal setting, maybe if it's a nice day in a nice garden somewhere with a friend.
Yeah.
I do have a friend who smokes cigars, and he's got like so he lives in like, it's basically a cabin.
Okay.
But on the outside of the cabin it has like a pond and like a seating area.
I think I remember a photo that you took from it.
Yeah. And that photo would have been the Tabernacle David. Yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
So that is like a great setting for me. Sometimes we'll go to a bar, but one where they have a terrace outside where you can enjoy a cigar or cigarette or whatever. I think that for me is the best setting. I think it really does matter who you are with.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree.
Because if you're with someone who's never necessarily smoked a cigar before, and they start asking all these questions, like, fair enough, like I don't mind people asking me questions, whatever. But if I want to sit down and have a smoke, I want to sit down and have a smoke.
Away from sort of the work side of
don't
things.
Don't start asking me all these questions.
Yeah.
Like, more than happy to do that beforehand.
Yeah.
Or afterwards, but just be in the moment, you know. Obviously, if they're saying, like, how do I cut this, how do I light it, whatnot, more than happy to do that. More than happy. But it's great to do it with someone who knows what they're doing. What about yourself?
So I kind of have two answers to this. In terms of, I mean, I like to be alone sometimes. I mean, I like to like go for a walk or something, but only ever really at night. So my first answer would be, if I was to be on my own, as you say, company makes a massive difference. If I was to be on my own, it would have to be sort of dark outside, clear night, stars, just clear headspace, a little bit of music maybe, nice walk, good cigar, perfect.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect way to end your evening. Because then when you get home, you've took a little bit of the nicotine hit off the cigar, you're kind of feeling drowsy kind of thing. It's like the perfect ending, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
Do you tend to have the pairing with it?
No, not really.
No.
I don't really tend to... Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really tend to drink all that much outside of events and work in terms of like whiskies, rums, things like that. Obviously,
I was going to say, you do like a drink.
Yeah, everyone does. But yeah, I think that's my first answer. I love a cigar if I wouldn't say in a mood, but if your social battery's kind of died, you don't want to be speaking to people, you don't want to do this. I think a cigar gives you that perfect hour and a half, however long it may be, even 20 minutes. It kind of gives you that bit of time on your own.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Put headphones on, bit of music, good cigar, good walk. I think that's perfect. Yeah. On the flip side though, events or in a cigar lounge.
Actually, I didn't mention that.
I probably do the majority, or I enjoy the majority of my cigars within events and around work and around that kind of bunch of people, if you like. So the conversation and all the different backgrounds that you get and all the different sort of work journeys and everything like that, you kind of get to know people over a cigar. And that's what I like about the events and why it kind of brings different people together. So I think that kind of makes another thing. You're all enjoying the same thing. You're all there for the common ground of cigars and a good pairing. But you kind of get to know people on a more personal basis. So for me, I think if you want it with people, an event or in a lounge with people you kind of don't know, with the same common ground, perfect. It's like you could be social or you can kind of drop back a little bit, but just listen and observe.
Yeah,
I kind of like that. I say I'm not someone that normally speaks a lot. I mean, I probably haven't shut up so far, but I kind of like it, especially with new groups of people, to just observe and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think events surrounded by people that you don't necessarily know or speak to all the time, or completely on my own.
You do get so many different types of characters here.
Mm-hmm.
And I know from past experiences, it's helped some people as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've had people who've come to events who struggle in social settings, and they've said, "Look, you've really helped us." Like, and that honestly made our night, didn't it?
Yeah.
It
makes it feel like it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just nice to know that we can get people out of their comfort zone a little bit. But there's no pressure.
No, of course.
I know some people have come here before after never coming to an event before, and they turn up, they're nervous. Like I've had someone before turn up and being like, "Wait, do I have to do anything?"
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "No, sit down, we'll pass your cigar and your spirit along to you, sit, chat away and smoke."
Exactly.
That's it.
That's what I feel like it should be.
100%. And it's great to give people information about the products, but I do like the laid back setting to it. So obviously we open up the night, we say thank you for joining today, and then we talk a little bit about the cigar and the spirit that we're sampling, and then that's that. If they've got questions, they can ask us.
Of course.
But it's just a chat. It's like you're making friends.
Of course.
And that's important.
Yeah, I agree. I think, as I say, there's different occasions for certain cigars and things like that. Like the smaller 25-minute smoke's perfect for a little walk or anything like that. But I think if you're going to sit down with potentially a Toro even, smoking a Toro on your own, you kind of get towards the end, and in my opinion, it's like us dragging on a little bit now in that sort of in that sort of sense. But when you've got people around and when you have a normal conversation like this, you kind of don't think about it too much.
No.
But then you're obviously enjoying the cigar, you're enjoying the occasion. And I think that's what kind of makes the experience 10 times better.
I agree.
But yeah, I definitely think there's times where I prefer to enjoy a cigar on my own.
Yeah, it's a great way of putting it, I think.
Mm.
So now I think we go a bit into the subscription.
Yeah, we touched on it briefly a little bit earlier.
Do you want to?
I'll let you.
Okay.
You can explain it.
Okay, cool.
We'll put it together.
So, as briefly mentioned earlier, we are offering a subscription for the podcast. So obviously the podcast is going to be free to watch and listen to anyway, but there is an option to subscribe to this subscription and you'll receive 2 cigars on a monthly basis. These cigars will be based on what me and Billy are going to be smoking in the next episode. So that gives you an opportunity to sit down and enjoy a cigar alongside us. Now, I believe it'll be 2 different cigars. So you'll be smoking
I believe
one,
so, yeah.
and I'll be smoking something else. So there's 2 different options there. You can either choose to sample that cigar with myself or with Billy, and you can kind of compare the tasting notes, the strengths and everything alongside it. It's going to be a really, really great opportunity to try something new, because I think we're going to try and get things in that we don't usually get in.
New lines as well.
Yeah.
Anything that's coming from our suppliers, hopefully we'll be able to get our hands on quite quickly, ready for the next episodes.
And it's going to be premium stuff as well. It's not going to be
course.
cheap stuff. I mean, say that this one's a cheap one, but it's great.
I feel like there'll be a good mix.
Yeah.
It will cover all sort of budgets. There won't be anything that's like, why are you smoking that kind of thing. It'll be normal standard sizes of cigars, no sort of minis or anything like that. Because, I mean, I do well to stretch a mini cigarillo on for over an hour, to be honest.
That would be impressive. If you could do that, I'll give 50 quid.
All right, game on. It has to stay lit, I'm
I
assuming.
regret saying that now. He's going to do it.
50 quid coming my way.
Has to stay lit.
Yeah, okay.
You have to puff it every 2 seconds.
Well, that's another sort of game that we can kind of introduce. The long ash, smoking times, kind of keep it lit.
That's
like
good fun.
Yeah. And as I say, the blinds, I'm really looking forward to them. I know we did it briefly on the channel before, but that really gets you thinking. And I think we could, thinking about it, I just had a thought. If we did a mystery cigar, the subscription, we could send out as a mystery.
Could be.
So then the people at home watching, listening, can smoke that cigar with us.
Not a bad idea.
And kind of try and take on board what we're saying or have their own go. And they don't even necessarily have to smoke that cigar on the podcast or anything like that. They can smoke the other one or anything like that and then go from there. But I feel like it's a good way to kind of get them.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. If you would be sort of inclined to do that, if you'd like an unbanded cigar coming your way and then you have to sit down, enjoy the cigar and really think about what it is, the appearance, the tastings, the strength, all of that. I think that would be good. I think that's
100%.
I think that would be intriguing.
I think maybe let us know what you think in the comments if you are watching on YouTube. If you are looking forward to it, if you're interested in signing up, then please let us know.
Of course.
Because we want to make it as good as possible. That's the main thing, you know.
Yeah, 100%. And this also isn't going to be just on YouTube, is it? So
No,
this is
Spotify as well.
Also going to stream on Spotify. You'll be able to watch along on there as well, I'm pretty sure, as well as audio.
Yep, you can watch and listen to audio.
So we'll have it across the two platforms. You'll probably see clips and things going out on our other socials, Instagrams and stuff like that. But yeah, it's an avenue that we're exploring, and hopefully, I mean, we're very new to this whole thing, as you could probably tell. But hopefully,
I think it's been fun.
I've really enjoyed it.
I'm really looking forward to seeing who we can get on in the future, though.
Yeah, I think the guests as well are going to be another sort of aspect that we can really sort of. I keep stumbling on my words here. I can't think of the word. Exploit through the connections that we have, obviously through suppliers and stuff. I feel like we can get some good guests.
Yeah.
From different brands in, but obviously stay tuned and you'll find out in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's go back to the cigar. I'm gonna start because I'm struggling here. I'm really enjoying the cigar, but because I cut it terribly, it's just unraveling and it's not staying lit now. So I don't know. I might have to put mine down soon. Nevertheless, really enjoyable cigar for the price.
I'm definitely going to take this down to the point of my fingers burning. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, do you know, when I said it'll definitely, I feel like it'll open up. It really has. And as I say, the smoke output now is way more and much more of what I expected from start to finish. But yeah, I really can't complain.
What are your most prominent tasting notes?
There's like a mustiness, and do you know the flavour notes when you come out with mustiness and like barnyard and things, it kind of doesn't sound appealing at all.
No.
But the mustiness kind of works. It's like a slight bitterness that normally kind of transforms into like a coffee note, things like that. It hasn't so much this time, but it's kind of just earth, bit musty. But yeah, it's just I don't know. There's not all that much going on in terms of complexity and niche sort of flavour profiles, in my opinion.
No, I think this is a great cigar for someone to start off with.
Yeah,
because it's not overwhelming.
No,
strength wise, I think this is quite light actually. I don't feel like it's hit me whatsoever.
I suppose at most it kind of tickles that borderline of medium.
Medium, yeah.
I wouldn't, in my personal opinion, say medium to full. Obviously, that changes from person to person. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think it's
a great way to start the new podcast.
Yeah. And I don't think we've said the name yet, have we?
We haven't.
Should we say it together?
In unison.
Yeah.
No.
So, this is the Sip and Smoke podcast. And, well, the name just says it. We're going to be sipping, we're going to be smoking.
Enjoying.
Having
chatting. Some random conversations, going down some rabbit holes. But ultimately, we're all here for the same reason. Enjoy some good cigars.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, Billy, I think it's time to wrap things up.
I think so.
And it's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you all so much for listening, watching, supporting us.
Of course.
Consistently. It doesn't go unnoticed. No. we really love our supporters out there and people, customers. It doesn't go unnoticed.
I mean, this wouldn't be happening. I mean, we would not have even thought about doing a podcast a year ago.
No.
And I mean, since we've kind of built our presence, the guys have kind of come along with us and gave us the opportunity to make this worthwhile.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys can kind of take it to the next level. Word of mouth, share us around. Follow us on follow us on Spotify?
Follow? Yeah, I guess so.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Follow. Yeah, I think it's follow.
Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already, as always. And I think we'll wrap it up there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much. This has been the Sip and Smoke podcast with your boys, Lewis and Billy. But yeah, thank you all so much again, and stay safe and happy herfing. Peace.